game and understands how to retain players through the loyalty programs rather than doing something very simple, because poker itself is not a simple product.
Dave, you've said that agents don't work in poker, and obviously agents are a big deal in Asia. Why don't agents work in poker?
Because agents are brutally spoiled by the sports bet and casino industries. The margins that they get in casino and sports bet is huge. And so you cannot compete on a margin basis. Also, if agents and master agents and sub-agents are giving out different levels of credit, poker players, unlike casino players, casino or sports bet players, their motivation for betting is quite different. A sports bet player may bet on a recreational level because they enjoy the game, they want to make it more exciting. A casino player may bet because they enjoy the thrill of the bet. A poker player simply wants to win for the most part. And so if they know that this agent is giving out this level of credit and this agent is giving out this level of credit, they will get credit from both. Right? And they will basically screw the entire system. And this is exactly what happened with all the major sports bookies in Asia that did poker through agents. Within about 6 months, they realized that it wasn't working because the agents were like, how are we constantly doing this? And we're simply not making money. We're not making any money in terms of the amount of credit we give out, in terms of how much people are depositing, and the fact that these players seem to all be winning.
Well, let's move on to just online gaming generally, some things that are common across all different types of online gaming. We'll stick with the agent system. Maybe Magnus, you could talk a little bit about the agent system in Asia and China, and maybe respond to what Dave said about spoiling those agents.
I'm not sure if I'm particularly well placed to talk about the agent system, actually, but I think it comes out of this old trust thing and also the payments issues I talked about. There simply hasn't been ways for people to know whether sites are trustworthy or not, and then the agent system plays a massive role. And of course, when you have these big systems being set up to support Macau and taking players here and helping them with payments in and out here as well, of course that's a very, very comfortable setup if you also want to expand online. And there are operators who use that as a strategy to grow in Asia.
And I asked you over lunch the other day about payment solutions and using agents, and you said it just doesn't make sense for you guys. So I thought to myself, well, maybe you're losing a lot of action there, but you seem to think otherwise.
Yeah, that might well be that we lose a lot of action, but a lot of the agent-based sportsbooks are trying to move into a more of a classic iGaming model, if you like, and get away from all the credit and all these things and the problems that might be connected to that. So I think that the agent model is certainly going to be around, and for us to do anything like that would be crazy, I think, because there's so many people who are good at it, and I don't think that I would be. So,
David, any thoughts on the agent system and payment solutions, that kind of aspect of the industry?
Yeah, the payment solutions have become so difficult now that most bookmakers, most internet bookmaking operations are now going to a cash system. Okay, and instead of taking on agents or shareholders, what they're doing is they're setting up affiliate programs where an ex-agent will now be responsible for pushing cash depositing customers onto your website, and that person can either, that affiliate can either A, take a position with you, a share, as he was as an agent, or B, he can just take an overall rolling profit from whatever his customers lose. But there's no question about it. Overall, the industry is going from credit to cash, okay? Not only the above-board market, but more importantly and prophetically, the underground market. Cash is king. You yourself, there's an article every month now where a junket operator, their stocks go down because they're having problems collecting money up in China, or an executive absconds with hundreds of millions of dollars. So, things are getting tight in China now. I think they're feeling a little bit of a nip in their economy, and the agents and the junkets are having a hard time collecting money now. So they're going to cash.
What do you mean hundreds of millions of dollars? It's up to billions now, right? David?
If I might add something to what you just said regarding the illegal or the underground cash market, and both cash market and the credit market are significantly difficult to trace from a due diligence perspective in terms of cash flows and stuff, and that comes together with I said before about the risks of money laundering. The other big risk that have been seen or have been found by the report in relation to the current form, the current shape of the sports online market is that it's risking killing the golden goose, in the sense that it poses a huge threat to the current form of modern sports. Just today in the UK Telegraph, Tanya Alfred, she wrote in relation to match fixing in cricket and the recent revelations made by the New Zealander cricket player. She wrote, "Match fixing is the death of live sport. You may well just stay home and watch a DVD." Things.
Javier, I was going to ask you about your organisation's relationship with the gambling industry, because obviously match fixing is all about gambling. And I mean, do you and the data patterns that come through give you an opportunity? I mean, how closely do you work with bookies around the world, and how supportive are they of your organisation? What sort of relationships do you guys have with them? Tell us a little bit more about your operations in relation to specifically to gambling, online gambling.
Well, currently, from an operational perspective, what we are using currently is the services of a company specialized in monitoring betting operations and betting movements. That's, as I understand, that's pretty much the relation we have right now with the gambling industry. I mean, the purpose of the International Center for Sport Security, in relation to what you asked before, it was born because really there was no global operation, there was no global institution that was playing